Why are we called Negroes? Why are we deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everybody making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind? Why are we mistreated? Why are we in this condition, stripped of our name, our language, our culture, our God, and our religion? Here in America, all of our religious training has been gotten by the preacher. He has told us of a heaven way up in the sky that we can't enjoy now, but rather after we die.
Here we are once again.
Welcome to your Thursday Night Talks.
Your Thursday Night Talks.
Your Thursday Night Talks. I want to first start off, Brother Tony, in the most holy name of Allah, always bearing witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. I would like to greet you all in the beautiful greeting words of peace in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, ma'am.
And as they said, welcome to your Thursday Night Talks.
Claim it, own it.
It's yours.
And when it's yours, what do you do, Sister Kalila?
Listen, you just simply do what? We have to do this.
Just like what they say in other podcasts. Come on, we ain't no strangers to this. You want to subscribe, you want to share, you want to like, you want to copy and paste the URL and text message it to a whole bunch of friends. Like, look, You got to tune into this right here.
Listen, you definitely want to tune into this particular show. And I know I say that every Thursday. This show here.
You want to tune in.
You got to tune in.
You want to share it.
You definitely want to share it.
No questions asked.
I totally agree with you, Brother Tony.
Who needs training, Sister Kalila?
Everyone needs training.
Everybody. I'm going to say it like that. Everybody.
Everybody needs charity.
You're trying to say it all proper, and I'm saying
everybody. Yeah, right. Everybody needs training. And, before we even go into, you know what, Brother Tony?
Ma'am.
I want you to highlight the actual ministry that we're going to be highlighting. But after that ministry, I want to go right into a video. So I'm going to turn the floor over to you.
All praise is due to Allah. Beloved family, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, the Supreme Being, to whom holy praises are forever due. I am forever thankful to Almighty God Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I thank them both for the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Assalamu alaikum. And we're greeting you also in the beautiful greetings that your righteous community may be greeting one another in. We're greeting you in peace. We're greeting you with shalom. We're greeting you with abaragani, hotep, buenas noches, sakpase, whatever language you greet people in, we're greeting you in that beautiful language right now. Free the land. Beloved family, we're living in a critical hour. We are the 7th Region Coalition to Help Save Lives. We were assembled by our Student Regional Minister, Student Minister Patrick Muhammad, here in the 7th region of the Nation of Islam, which encompasses the state of Florida, the Caribbean, Central and South America. But this broadcast goes everywhere, beloved family.
That's right.
We were assembled back in 2020, soon after the Criterion message of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to warn our people about a dangerous inoculation that our open enemy was putting out, and was doing everything they could to get us to take it. It was an experiment. It was many of our people, in fact, still complain after they took the inoculation about side effects. We need to have a program very soon, Sister Kalila, concerning what options we have when any kind of pandemics or diseases are around. How do we take care of the body?
Absolutely.
And so, beloved family, we have been put together to save lives. And we are broadcasting these broadcasts here through the 9 ministries given to us by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He gave us these ministries that are all oriented towards saving lives, all oriented towards us finding our purpose in life and taking those gifts and talents and putting them to use in our communities. Tonight, we're focusing on the Ministry of Defense. The Ministry of Defense ensures the safety, security, and survival of the society and its members, and develops policies and systems relating to the national security of the society, beginning with ensuring safe and decent local neighborhoods. It is also charged with enhancement and protection of military and intelligence assets, structures, and institutions. Our program tonight is all about this, which will be highlighted in this upcoming video.
Thank you, Brother Tony. Let's get started with the video. I'm liking and sharing. That's what I've been doing. I've been liking and sharing. So let's get started.
Let's get started.
This is Brother Zion. Look, I just wanted to stop by and give a huge thank you to our Assistant Supreme Captain, Brother Dr. Abdul Aziz Muhammad, and his lovely wife, Sister Aziza Muhammad, for putting on for yet another year our National Training Conference. Now look, I need y'all to listen for a second. We're talking about 30 years of empowering. We're talking about 30 years of inspiring. We're talking about 30 years of training, workshops, seminars, things that will help us gain knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and develop skills within us that we can use in our personal lives, with our families, and things that we can teach to our families and people that we care about. I need all of us to register. It's very important. We show our love and appreciation by being dutiful. So I need all of y'all to click the link in my bio and register for this year's National Training Conference. Again, you can register via the bskjujitsu.com. Again, thank you, Dr. Abdul Aziz Muhammad, and thank you to your lovely wife, Sister Aziza Muhammad, for thinking about us enough to equip us with skills that we need to survive. Assalamu alaikum.
All praises due to Allah.
All praises due to Allah.
So we will introduce our brother, our national trainer, Brother Abdul Aziz Muhammad. He will be on shortly. But we have an array of panelists here tonight.
That's
We're gonna let them introduce themselves, even though they're no stranger to us.
Absolutely.
In just a moment, Sister Kalila. But Assistant Supreme Captain Abdul Aziz Muhammad. He was born in Mobile, Alabama in 1958. At 6 years of age, Brother Assistant Supreme's family moved to Queens, New York, where I'm from, and later Brooklyn, where they joined the Nation of Islam. As a student in the University of Islam, he began training in boxing at the age of 8 under his oldest brother, Ronald Muhammad. Eventually, he began his formal training in the martial arts in the system of Shorin Ryu Karate under Sensei Thomas. Shortly after receiving his yellow belt, he began training with Dr. Moses Powell as a member of the Junior FOI. As a soldier in the Nation of Islam, he has always been ready and willing to serve and train. At the request of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he and his family moved to Chicago in 1995 to take on his assignment of the national trainer of the Nation of Islam, as well as assuming the duties of the first officer at Mosque Mariam. He hosted his first national training in 1996 and was eventually promoted to the position of the Central Regional Captain. As he continued to teach and train the men through traveling the country and diligently aiding the Nation of Islam's training to become more efficient and streamlined, Student Supreme Captain Mustafa Farrakhan eventually promoted him to the position of Assistant Supreme Captain. His credentials and experience include, but are not limited to, and please forgive me for the if
you can do it. You can do it,
yeah,
Brother
you're saying
Tony.
I can do it. When one of our brothers comes on, he could correct me, and I'll take that correction very happily. Sister Kalila. He's a 10th degree black belt in Sonosis Ryu Jiu-Jitsu, 10th degree black belt in Kumite Ryu Jiu-Jitsu, 6th degree black belt in the Jitsu Te, owner of X-Men security company that provided security for many of the movie director Spike Lee's projects, New Line Cinema, Universal Studios, Paramount Pictures, and the Hoodlin Brothers film projects. Trainer in the New York Department of Corrections. He has traveled to Korea, the Caribbean islands, namely Trinidad, Barbados, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, Libya, and other African countries, Turkey, and all over the United States, providing security for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Most importantly, he is striving to be a good Muslim, devoted husband, father, grandfather, and brother. I turn it over to you, Sister Kalila. I believe we have another video.
We have another video, another awesome video. And listen, if you have not yet took the opportunity to like, share, bring your friends, people, homies, co-workers to our awesome show.
Her brother Lyle said it. Go get your peoples.
Go get your people.
Look, Sister Angelica says Sister Kalila is looking fabulous.
Oh, listen, only a reflection of you, Sister Angelica. Only a reflection of you. Let's get it. Oh.
We need some audio, Sister Kalila.
Yes, we do.
I want to thank Grandmaster and all the Grand Masters, male and female, that are here. And I want to thank you for demonstrating the greatness of your skill.
I'm saying, when I'm confronted by him, the question is, what do I see in him? First of all, I see, if we're taught that when we look at another man or brother or sister, when we look at our alternates part, we've got to see ourselves. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now the question is, what do you see? Do you see yourself, or do you see someone capable of destroying you?
Ooh, my God. Listen, y'all.
Right? If that does not motivate you to go to the conference, I don't know what.
The valley of decision is real, Brother Tony. You hear me? Oh my God. Listen, I don't want to belabor the point at all. I want to bring on our wonderful, like you said, array of sunshine of guests. And they're going to all introduce themselves.
Yes.
And we're going to just, and get started. So we're going to bring on our dear Brother Clifford Muhammad, Sister Lisa Muhammad, Sister Naya Muhammad, Brother Kevin Muhammad. Praises be to Allah. Listen, we have a lot of questions.
It is an esteemed honor.
An esteemed honor. Listen, we have so many questions. We have questions. We have questions about the youth. We have questions about everything. Okay, but we want to first get started because, again, there is a lot of functioning parts in this conference, and because the conference have been so successful each and every single day, every single year. I'm talking every single day, every single year.
Well, every day we should be training, Sister Kalila.
Well, every single day of course we should be training, but I'm talking about the training conference, the international training conference. It's not a national training conference anymore. This is international, right? So I want to kind of go over pretty much each person's. First, I want you all to introduce yourself, but also your role as it relates to your position in the conference. We're going to start with you, Brother Clifford.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. And thank you to the 7th Region Coalition podcast. Y'all saving lives, and we striving to save lives as well.
That's right.
We definitely on the same page. I want to first, of course, thank Allah and thank Dr. Abdul Aziz Muhammad for giving myself the opportunity, and of course the rest of the team the opportunity to represent what he has. My name is Brother Clifton. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I serve as the production manager with the youth division, and I also help out with other aspects of the conference in terms of promotion. I've been doing it now for out of the 10 years that the youth division has been developed, along with the overall conference. I've been doing it now for about 6.5, close to 7 years.
All right, praises be to Allah. Okay, Sister Naya.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
I am Sister Naya Muhammad. I am from Chicago, and I have been blessed to be a part of the International Training Conference's Youth Division for 7 years now, since 2018. I'm so very grateful for Brother Grandmaster Dr. Abdul Aziz Muhammad and Sister Aziza Muhammad for carrying this on and making it stronger and stronger every year, giving myself and other young people an opportunity to learn, train, and shine. All praises due to Allah.
Praises due to Allah. All right, Sister Lisa.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I first thank Allah for this opportunity to be alive in this time when we are striving to do what is dictated by the time in which we live. I thank the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for giving this divine assignment to Brother Dr. Abdul Aziz Muhammad. And also I thank him for being that person who is always listening to those who he has that works with him and on his behalf, because it is because he listened to a suggestion, a recommendation that I made 10 years ago. I am originally from Indianapolis, Indiana. I, however, now am in Chicago and have been here long enough for people to tell me that I must now say I'm from Chicago. But I serve by the grace of Allah and at the permission of Dr. Abdul Aziz as the coordinator for the National Training Conference Youth Division. And I'm responsible for primarily ensuring that everything that Sister Naya mentioned happens. I primarily help them to make their visions come into fruition during the training conference.
Praises be to Allah. And last but never, ever, 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 ever least, our dear brother who has 12,000 hats in this conference, Brother Kevin.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, who came to us in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. I'm truly grateful, thankful for the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, a beautiful executive council, of course, all of the leadership within the Nation of Islam. I have the honor to work with the Student Assistant Supreme Captain in the national training. I always say I do whatever needs to be done. If I need to set up chair, if I need to mop floors, I'll do that too. But I settled down in working with these awesome people in marketing and promotion. I handled the analytics of the conference just to make sure that we're trending and moving in the direction that we should. I also worked with the officers in the development and the training of the officers workshop in conjunction with the Student Assistant Supreme Captain and the Supreme Captain. And so in those functions, I try to do whatever I can, honored to serve and do whatever we can to help the National Training Conference.
Praises be to Allah. Well, thank you so much. See, humble, all humble Muslims. We humble for real, because I'm pretty sure what they said is just a little bit of what they do, because this thing is phenomenal. I've been twice, right, out of the 30 years, and please don't. But I'm striving to try to do this year and hopefully the next years. But I just want to thank you all for the opportunity, and thank you all for your time and your energy. And I'm gonna turn it over to you, Brother Tony.
Praise be to Allah. We in the recent years, there's been an emphasis on the youth. And so I want to read a quote from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and have you all reflect. On pages 113 to 114 in volume 3A of the Teachings 2.0, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan answers a question pertaining to how to control the image of young Black men, which we'll also say it applies to young Black women. He says, two things cannot occupy the same space at the same time. Create a new image by the way you act and inspire others to follow your example. And soon the old image will disappear. In light of this quote, if you could all expound on why it is important that the youth play a leadership role in this international training conference.
I'll start. I mentioned that it's been 10 years since the inception of the division, the youth division for the National Training Conference. However, I've been very, very fortunate and blessed to work with the National Training Conference for approximately 26 of the 30 years. One of the things that we know is very important is that training adults, or especially those who are parents, and not training your youth or your children, or even if you work with young people, defeats the purpose of training yourself.
Come on.
In addition, it's very personal for me when it comes to ensuring that young people, both inside the Nation of Islam as well as those in our broader community, receive a serious training just as is being given to the adults. So when I mentioned to Dr. Abdul Aziz, what are we going to do for the young people? And honestly, his initial response was, we have childcare. But it was because people didn't necessarily see a large number of that teen and tween population at the time, though probably 80 to 90% of the believers had children in that age category, but they were at home or they were at the training conference, doing what teenagers do, walking around looking for something to do. So when I asked him if we could develop a serious training track that could mirror what the adults were doing, but palatable for the young people, he said, well, if we had somebody who would head that up, all praises due to Allah, I definitely would like to see that. And I immediately said, oh, that's what we need, then I'll do it. And from that point, we went to work trying to figure out how to make it happen. As a young believer growing up in the Nation of Islam, I have very fond memories of being with my parents and being with the believers and being given real assignments and not being pushed to the children's corner or the play station. So that has always been something that I'm very, very passionate about. And unfortunately, in today's society, I believe that it is because the young people are not at the table when it comes to the development and the planning of programs that are earmarked or labeled to be for them, they're not as successful. So my prayer was that not only could we develop the track, but we could also teach and train and develop the young people who were already participating. My daughter was a child in childcare at the time when it first started. She now is the co-chair of the youth division as a 22-year-old MGT Vanguard. However, it took some time for us to do that. And you mentioned in the quote that I'm paraphrasing, but if you give a different image and you show a different example of what young people can become, then you can change the condition of them and the society. And so that is what the youth division and its inception by the grace and permission of Dr. Abdul Aziz has been trying to do. And thus far, I believe we are on the right track and we are successful at doing it. So that would be how I would respond to your question.
Praise be to Allah. What I'm gathering is there's a cultural shift. When we incorporate the youth, there is a culture shift. There's a continuation of the culture, and the culture is bred not just in the individual, but the family.
That is correct.
Who would like to go next in reflecting?
Go ahead, Sister Naya. I'll go after you.
Okay. Yes, sir. Our praises due to Allah. I just want to say I'm so very grateful that Sister Lisa had that conversation with Grandmaster Abdul Aziz Muhammad, because were it not for this youth division, I don't know that I would be in the position where I am now. It's so very important, and I appreciate, I'm always forever grateful for Sister Lisa's passion of bringing the young people up to a certain level of being able to think for themselves, being able to do the same things that our parents are able to do, that our aunties and our uncles are able to do, because this is a world where young people are looked at as children. And of course, we may be a child, we are younger, but we are still able to think, and we're still able to process, and we're still able to act, and we're still able to execute, because we are young gods. And so we have to be cultivated. And that is what this training conference does for the young people. It puts us in different leadership roles. I believe one of the reasons why I'm able to speak the way that I am, because I used to be very shy and timid, is because Sister Lisa did not play, and she had us speaking. She put us directly out front. She put us in panels, and not only were we speaking in front of our peers, but we also had to coordinate with professionals. So I'm so very grateful to have this youth division, because as young people, we need to have the opportunities to learn and to grow and to flourish while we're still young, so that by the time we grow into young adults or adults, we're already farther ahead than we could be. So all praises due to Allah.
Oh, praise be to Allah. Brother Clifton.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sister Naya and Sister Lisa, for giving me a pathway of what I needed to say. I second what my sister said. You already know, Sister Lisa is my biological sister, and I work directly with her. We do a lot of planning for the training conference and, of course, the youth division, and work hand in hand with our doc, Abdul Aziz Muhammad, man. It's always a pleasure to do this every year. But I would say when we talk about young people, I reflect on myself because I remember my mother and father. My father, may Allah be pleased with him, passed away not too long ago. And my mother, of course, is still living. And I remember the stories of how when the messenger departed, the believers were always, there were some believers that were waiting on the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to stand up. And my mother and father was those two. They were two of those believers that said, the minister's back. Let's get back on our deen. And so they got back on their deen and they told us these stories. And now these stories, now we can tell to the younger ones. And now I feel like I have a responsibility to the young ones now. And I know I look young, but I'm actually about to cross 50 really soon. And now I feel like I'm obligated to talk to these young people and tell them our responsibility, because like Lisa said, we weren't in the children's corner. We had roles of leadership. And so when I look at the condition of our young people now, it turns my stomach to see the things that they're plagued with. These are going to be the new leaders. These are going to be the new doctors. These are going to be the children that we have that's going to be taking care of us. So what is our duty to the young people? So of course, this brilliant ideal of a training conference that Dr. Abdul Aziz have put before us by way of the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan is an opportunity to get the latest training and bring these young people into an arena to be able to get that information to them. So it's exciting to do this every year because the assailants are getting they're getting even smarter. So we have to get smarter every year. So when you come to this training, you get the latest training to be able to combat the enemy that's always coming against our young people. So we duty bound to take care of our young people. That's what we plan to do every year. And this is the 30th year, and it's an awesome year, and we look forward to it.
All praise is due to Allah. And I concur, Brother Clifton. The older we get, the more of a sense of responsibility it is embedded in us. It's like it increases with age and with experience. Brother Calvin, if you could expound on the quote.
Yes, sir. Really, the expressions that we heard give such profound insight into exactly why the youth and pouring into the youth is very important. I'm sitting here reflecting on what Sister Naya said. I'm sitting here reflecting on Sister Linda and Brother Clifton. I'm reflecting because as a youth, I joined the Nation of Islam as a youth. I was 13 years old when I joined the Nation of Islam. And I was raised in the Nation of Islam. And I'm sure we can all remember back in the day that, as Sister Lisa said, pretty much the order of the day for the youth in events was find somewhere to sit down and be quiet, And I heard even further that prior to 1975, Savior's Day was just, one day. And it was not an event for the youth, serving its purpose, but it was not an event for the youth. But I'm reminded as a young junior at FOI, one of my first student ministers told me that to build a mosque without a school is to say that I won't be here long. Because it means that you don't plan on being around for a while. And so, in the military outlook of things, militaries use two different schools of thought that converge. You have strategy and then you have tactics. Strategy is something that's timeless. You read The Art of War, it's full of strategy, although it was written 2,000 years ago.
That's right.
You can look at a chessboard with those wooden pieces. All of those strategies, they're just pieces, but they can be applied to anything. But tactics is different. Tactics is the application of the strategy using a better technology. And so when you look at how Allah composed the youth, there's a reason that he increased their capacity to learn at their younger years. And as we get older, that we can still learn, but we don't learn at the same rate as, you take a 5-year-old within 5 years has learned how to crawl, how to walk, how to eat, how to talk. and all of these things. That's an enormous amount of data to take in. And so this tactic of making sure that the youth were taught young, the Nation of Islam is full of examples. Minister Ishmael had a conversation with me, and he said that the nation was built on young people.
That's right.
The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was young when he met with Master Fard Muhammad.
Yes.
Student Minister Ishmael Muhammad has been being taught since a little boy. You have examples. I remember meeting Student Minister Nuri Muhammad when he was 17 years old. You have people like Student Minister Carlos, who also joined the Nation of Islam at 13. So we have examples of what happens when you pour into our youth at such a young age, how that tree grows to serve our nation. And so the national training is nothing different. And I think this was an incredible strategy suggested by Sister Lisa, and that we will see the fruits of this youth division coming for years to come.
Praises be to Allah, the man of the hour. The man's right here. The man's right here. Praises be to Allah.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
High honor each and every time, sir.
Man, it's mine. It's mine. Thank you. And pardon my delay.
Listen, like Brother Calvin said, Brother Clifton said, you're helping save lives like we're helping save lives. It's just on a different volume, so on a different frequency. We here in the internet world, you hear here, So.
Sister Kalila, may I, before we move, I wanted to make a comment just for those who are blessed to be watching the podcast that may not be registered members of the Nation of Islam. A point that I wanted to make, not only about the youth division, but the entire training conference is not only open to the members of the Nation of Islam, it is open to everyone, and we are encouraging and welcoming everyone to be there. One of the other roles, of course, that we are developing and training our youth to be able to do is to be resurrectors of the dead also. So they have the same responsibility as we do. So as they develop themselves and they train and they learn, as Sister Naya said, how to be articulate, they also have to apply those trainings so that when they go out into the community and speak to our people, they too can bring the people to the Lamb of God. So I wanted to make sure that it was clear that it's not just for the Nation of Islam or just for the youth of the Nation of Islam. Dr. Abdul Aziz, it's good to see you. He has blessed us to be able to go out and invite those, especially here in the city of Chicago, who are not in the Nation of Islam, but they're young people. Not only do they need this training, they are striving to learn how to apply some of the programming that they are doing in a better way. So they come to the training conference and they spend time learning and growing with our young people, and that allows them to go out and be more successful in what they are trying to do of good in their communities.
Praise be to Allah. And just to add to that, people that, and I'm just no injustice with the Nation of Islam. I am a Nation of Islam baby. But when you bring people outside of the nation and invite them, and they get a whiff of what this all about, they want to shout this thing from the mountaintop. They shout more than believers. It was one time I brung someone, and I was just like, hey, this is what we're doing. Man, why you invite me? I was like, wait, hold on. I didn't even know you was even wanting to come, But it's just the feel and the energy that's coming from not only in person, but when I went live and when I showed all the features, they was like, I didn't know none of this was going on. So you brought up a very valid point, because this is not only just for the Nation of Islam. That's why it doesn't specify Nation of Islam International Training Conference. It says the International Training Conference. So please, anyone is invited in good spirit. I don't come with we're going to change your spirit anyway. So if you want to come with a bad spirit, it's going to change eventually. So come one, come all. Praises be to Allah. But I have brother, Dr. Abdul Aziz Muhammad, did you want to comment on that particular question in regards to what Brother Tony said in regards to why it's so important that the youth play a leadership role in the International Training Conference?
Well, absolutely. And once again, thank you for having us on the call here. You know, I'm always happy to be in the 7th region.
Yes.
So it's a blessing. Well, in terms of that, I agree with Brother Captain Calvin, Sensei Calvin, for what he was saying as it relates to the youth. You know, it's so important for youth to be involved in this because it represents the longevity of it, the longevity. You know, well, how long are we doing this for? I really don't know. I do know that we've made it 30 years, you know, but I didn't know really what time. I don't have a particular time, because when you set a time, when you get to the time, it ends.
Come on.
So I don't want it to end. I want it to continue going. But now when you have some youth around, and we've gotten many youth involved, and they literally in a few days can, well, in fact, now they could keep it going. But we have to start teaching more of what it is all about. What is it all about? And they are so great. I mean, I know you have heard them already.
Of course.
You know, and they now are speaking from many times a youth perspective, but there are those who were youth and really they are not youth anymore. They just continue to work in the youth arena.
Yes.
But they are involved in the whole aspect, you know, so it's beautiful. So they really could just step right in and continue and take the bigger picture, because at some point they are going to make it, if it pleases Allah, to our age.
Right. Right.
I know they don't want to hear all of that, you know, but that's the truth. At some point, Allah, if Allah pleases, you know, somebody's going to be 50.
That's right.
Somebody's going to be 60. You know, and there's going to be others who are coming under their tutelage that's going to be able to step right in and handle the youth. So no, this is a lifelong journey, and I'm thankful to Allah that He has blessed me to be in the position to move. But it's all on His, you know, it's all on Him. All right.
Yes, sir.
Praises be to Allah. Well, without further ado, let me see if I can find. I'm going to go to another video since we're mentioning the youth. I'm going to go quickly to another video. Why it's important about our youth.
It's not just a division, like an offshoot or a section. I say the other half of the conference is the youth division. That's the other half of this conference.
It's something about the spirit of this team of the youth division.
Yes,
The second half, as Brother Grandmaster Abdul Aziz said,
okay, are you there?
Training conference, the spirit that you all have is so contagious.
We've opened up for people in the community because it is about everybody being prepared. We have our neighbors and our friends outside of the nation prepared, then we have that preparation for ourselves and our families as well.
This is not just martial arts. This is so much more. The martial arts is an additional component that is really the smallest part of what you're getting, because your mind has to be stronger than your body, but your body has to be strong enough to manage what your mind comes up with. Listen, join that. Register now. Don't waste any time. Register now.
Triumph over trials. A call for strength, faith, and preparedness.
Register you and the entire family at the vskjujitsu.com. Don't miss it.
Praises be to Allah. So listen, I'm giving you plugs. You have to right now. Everybody is on this from the sound of my voice. Y'all should be registering right now, especially your youth. Now y'all know y'all have aunties that going to the conference. See you with the aunties. I don't think they'll mind, a little extra. Just let them sleep on the floor, but they're gonna enjoy themselves. They'll enjoy themselves.
I'm not gonna comment.
Listen, hey, you had to, we've been in the hotel rooms with 12 people in the hotel room, but you enjoy yourself.
Everybody.
They don't mind sleeping on the ground. They don't mind sleeping on the floor. But listen, I want to actually go into this other question because it is important why we analyze the youth. But how did the idea of the conference take place? This is your question, Grandmaster. What was your, because I know that the minister kind of was like that inspiration, but I just want to see where the idea of the international conference was originated.
Yes. Well, thank you for the question. And the minister had asked me to take on the role, right? Now, if you ask me, what do I know about the role? I didn't know anything about the role. But he asked me to do that, and in taking on the role, it was before the Million Man March. It was just that I moved to Chicago in '95, just before the Million Man March. And then went to the Million Man March, of course, because I was engaged and involved in it, in the aspects of security and so forth. I was on the stage. I was there and involved. Well, now I'm looking at this and what is going on, what is happening. I had to come back to Chi-Town and do something more. And one of the things I would have done anyway is have a martial arts event. It was the first year in Chicago. I was going to be bringing, Dr. Moses Powell out. I was going to bring out Soke Little. I was going to do that and have that. But, I have a post and a responsibility, and I had to see what I was going to do. The first thing I did was I did a training tape that dealt with mosque or post security.
Yes, sir.
Right.
And that was, something that was the first thing I had done. And after that, I did something dealing with the martial arts and the training that we do. And I put together the first tape. It was called the Yellow Belt for Yellow Belts. And in fact, it's a tape now that many use, and they take little pieces of it and they use it for their schools, and they just use it and they become great in their schools, and or they use it to help teach in their schools. So that's something. But now we have to do and deal with the post part, which is the national training part. And I said that I have to do something that's representative of the post from a national perspective. Well, I wasn't engaging because when I first came to Chicago, I, had the position of national trainer, but because it was also so unknown to many others that I had to deal with making everybody to understand. So I didn't have the ability of communicating with the nation of men. I had to deal with those that I had some measure of contact with, and that was pretty much the central region, you know, those that were in the central region. So I was able to go. I was the first officer now, not the regional captain.
Yes, sir.
I was the first officer, but we were able to make some contact through that position. And shortly thereafter, shortly after the national training, the first event is when I became the captain and regional captain, if you will. So anyway, what caused it? Well, what caused it is that I had to do something that I felt was representative of who it was that gave me the responsibility. And I gotta say, the supreme captain, well, at that time, not the supreme captain in particular, it was the assistant supreme, who was Brother Mustafa Farrakhan. He has been my rock and had my back for all of these years. And of course, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan had so much love for Dr. Moses Powell that he was always there from the beginning. The first one, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was there. The second one, the Honorable, and he was there all the time. So they were the ones that, if it were not for them, I know it would not have continued. But they always supported me. Not just that others didn't support me. It's just that they were the key supporters that I had, keeping me strong and keeping me moving out front like that, you know. But so what made me do it was the minister and my thought of him and how I felt this needed to be. So we started humbly, but you know,
Yes,
it was the beginning. That's all.
Yes, sir.
And it continued even through COVID.
Wow.
Yes,
We
sir.
never stopped.
Yes,
We didn't miss 1 year.
That's right.
Not one. And in fact, COVID, we got bigger.
That's right.
Wow. Wow.
Both years of COVID, and you know, we just kept going. So you know, Allah He's behind us. I don't even like the term saying He's behind us. No, He's got us all the way on. We in His hand.
That's
moving
right.
through this, because He's in front of us, He's behind us, He's on the side of us. We know that He's with us.
Dr. Abdul Aziz Muhammad, I remember that year in Milwaukee.
Oh, yes.
Where
I think that was one of my favorites.
Oh, Allah. No, look, Student Captain David called me up. I'm going to call him out on these. Look, brother, I need your help. I need your help. He worked me. But I remember so many believers, because we really needed that experience, that of togetherness at that venue. They were saying to each other, "Happy Savior's Day."
Happy Savior's Day.
And it felt so good. Yeah, it's Savior's Day.
Yes.
Because we're saviors in the making when we get that training.
Right.
Come on.
Yes. No, that was so beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, I just remember that also. It was, I mean, every year is just it gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yes, sir.
And everybody's in love with it. Everybody enjoys themselves. And you know, and I can't say, I won't say that there's little hiccups that individuals may have, but it's so beautiful that they're able to overcome any of those things and still feel good, just like Savior's Day. You know, Savior's Day, there's hiccups, there's little issues, but man, happy Savior's Day.
That's right.
Well, we don't even get the opportunity to see the hiccups because we're just so engulfed in the fellowship, right? In the spirit of, you know, it's like, hiccup what? I thought that you meant to do that. Really? That's a hiccup? You know, so
right.
But it's a beautiful feeling, and I mean it's overwhelmingly to the point where if you don't feel something, then you have no soul.
Yes.
No, you're
yes.
dead.
Look,
You're
what they
dead.
call it, what the new word now is unalived. You're unalived. So praises be to Allah. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
So,
boy.
as far as what we should expect, because every year is something new. So, what should we expect that's new? Something that is going to be coming back, like the dance or the presentations. What should we expect this year
Well,
at the?
let's let them run through
Okay.
the programs, So maybe let's give the youth and which is now Sister Lisa over there, she always hiding in the youth now. But no, she had a little bit of so if the two of you could share some things in terms of what we got coming in there, then we get Brother Captain Calvin an opportunity to share the overview on from the adult, or let me stop again. See, I hate saying that because these are adults over here. So the older crew, let's just say that.
Right, the wise ones.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. So what we can expect this year is more amazing training and development for all who attend, both spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Some of the workshops that we intend to have in the youth division. Well, let's talk about the theme first. The theme for the conference is Triumph Over Trials, a call for faith, strength, and preparedness. So everything that we are offering, it is our desire and our objective to ensure that it is in alignment with that theme, which of course is inspired by what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has us focused on at this time. So with that being said, there's a kind of a sub theme, if you will, with this being the 30th year of the National Training Conference, that in the youth division, we are also focusing on gratitude, reflection, and progress reports, because many have been to the conference a number of times. They have been able to participate in a lot of the trainings. Some have moved up, if you will. A lot of our young people have become registered members of the Nation of Islam, are taking on leadership roles. They are in their communities. Some in their personal lives, their lives have changed. They're now adults. Some are married. Some have children. And all of this has happened over time. So it's about reflection and progress reports. But the gratitude and truth is to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Dr. Abdul Aziz Muhammad, and Sister Aziza for giving this platform to the young people. But to be specific in reference to some of the workshop titles, what happens, and of course, I'll let Sister Naya and Brother Clifton also talk about this. The way it happens is that the young people look at what are considered, if you will, the hot button topics that their demographic is dealing with. And when we say the youth division, we kind of have to say what that looks like, because it's not the children's workshops, which is another division or subdivision of the youth division, which is ages 8 to 12, but it doesn't stop at a certain age. Our group starts at age 13. So we say 13 plus, because if we say 13 to a certain number, that actually cuts everybody off, and people are like, well, wait a minute, what about me? So basically, the focus this year in the workshops is a few of them that I'll state. One is Triumph Over Trials, the drama of trauma. Now, we put a spin, to be honest, quite honest, on many of the topics and many of the titles, because we want it to be inviting and we don't want it to scare young people. Sometimes if the top, for instance, say if the topic says we're going to be dealing with mental health or mental illness, young people may not come to that because it doesn't sound like something where they'll be able to be honest and where they'll be able to get help and support. So one of the things that we do is we try to make sure that the titles are not too intimidating, but we have like a subtitle that helps them to understand what that focus is. So that one is like the drama of trauma. Unfortunately, we know that across the country, there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of killing, there's a lot of mental unwellness with attempts on suicide or even thoughts of it. So those are some things that we will address. Again, these workshops are co-moderated by our young people. Our young people plan the workshops. They pre-interview after getting clearance from Dr. Abdulaziz for their proposed presenters. So they set the format, and the format, the critical part of their format is if there's a split, there's 30% talking to them and 70% engagement. Now, if you can be engaging and you can talk at the same time, that's fine. But what we try not to allow to happen, regardless of who the presenters are, is that we're just in there. They're just in there talking to the young people instead of allowing them to be engaged. So
Right.
Then we'll be talking about also exploring arts and culture, the beats, the battles, the beauty, and the struggle for balance. If we look around, there are so many young people, both in the Nation of Islam and outside of the Nation of Islam, that are leaning towards being engaged in areas of arts and culture. But we also know there's a lot of different things. There are pitfalls. There are things that can be positive, but there are also things that are not so positive. So we'll be bringing in people that are in the fields of arts and culture in a lot of genres, from our classical, from our hip hop, from our DJing, from rap, from vocal, to talk with our young people and engage them in a discussion, and then a little bit of time to see what they know how to do in each one of those areas. We will also be having a conversation in a workshop titled Warrior Wisdom, Be Alert, Stay Alive. This is actually a staple workshop that we bring back every year, because every year we try to see what are some of the basic things that young people need to be aware of as they go through their daily life. We go to the mat, we'll be on the mat during the young people's mat time, we'll be on the mat during the master's training. But in this workshop, we talk about some practical things, like what should you be thinking? Should you have these things in your ear, in both of your ears as you're moving around? If you're going to the mall, should there be somebody that's the lookout person in your group? So just basic things like that. That's just a few of the workshops. But the other part that young people that come to the conference can expect, we're going to be scouting out. We're always scouting out talent. So you may come as an attendee and leave as an assistant production manager.
Wow.
Because that's how it works. That is exactly how it works. We don't have time to wait. So if we're looking at you and you're very attentive, if you're reminding us about the time, then you may become the timekeeper, and we may be submitting your name to Dr. Aziz later on that day and say, beginning on Saturday, you are now the official youth division timekeeper. That's kind of the way it works. Because if we don't identify the young people and put them to work immediately, they'll go back to their cities and nobody may know that they have these gifts and talents. But I'll yield to Sister Naya and Brother CJ, with your permission, to add anything else that we should add.
Thank you,
Sister.
Sister
The social part, but I'll let them talk about that part.
Yes, sir.
CJ, Nigel?
Yeah, I'll go real quick. Yes, like Lisa said, we definitely are always multitasking. And so those that come know that they have to wear a lot of hats, just because it's just that exciting. But I want to shine some light on the sentiment, with our young people right now. We know that our young people are under attack. And when Lisa was saying that, it took me back to this quote that I was listening to Brother Dr. Abdulaziz said just recently in one of the podcasts. He said, as we walk in peace because that's our nature. As you walk in peace, it does not mean peace is not around you. However, fear will not prevail. Fear does not take precedence. We're not the aggressor. However, if we're attacked, you should walk. Well, I'm sorry. You've seen us walking in peace. That's a prayer, basically. So this is basically me summarizing. So basically, at the end of the day, when we are looking at our young people, right, they're under attack. So when we coming into these arenas, we coming into these workshops, we thinking about, like the coalition tagline says, save lives. So Brother Calvin on the last podcast he was on, he said, we have subject matter experts, right? So Grandmaster is training people in all of these different aspects of what Sister Lisa was talking about. And so we have professional people giving professional information for us to save these young people's lives. So one of my favorite workshop is one Lisa was mentioning earlier, the Warrior Wisdom, which is a staple workshop, Be Alert, Stay Alive, because our young people are being snatched. They're being attacked all the time, right?
Yes.
And so some of us have children, and it hurts to know that our young people are not protected. And so to be able to come to the training conference and be able to see, like Brother Calvin said, these experts that are trained in these areas to give us this vital information, and for us to be able to facilitate it by just holding a camera, or just, pulling the music in or out, or just getting on the mat, having mat time, or like Lisa was saying, the principle behind not necessarily having something in your ear all the time while you're walking and not paying attention. So that to me, that's critical. I think it's timely. Chicago can speak to it. Our city can speak to it. I'm sure some of the other cities can speak to how these young people are under attack. So I'm looking forward to this year. I'm giving it my all, because like Doc said, we don't know how many more years we have with this. So we have to treat it like it's the last year every time we have an opportunity to talk to young people.
Praise be to Allah. I just want to add on a little bit. Both Sister Lisa and Brother Clifton said so much, and I share that same sentiment. And it is very true that the youth are under attack. Like you said, Brother Clifton, we're under attack physically, but we're also under attack mentally and spiritually, as Sister Lisa was sharing earlier. And so this message and this overall theme for the conference is so timely: triumph over trial, a call for faith, strength, and preparedness. That's what we need to get through a difficult time like 2025. Yes. We need faith, we need strength, and we need to be prepared. I would always hear Sister Lisa say at the National Training Conference, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And I used to be like, oh, okay. I used to dismiss it. And now I understand that it's so real. We have to stay ready. We have to stay physically ready, of course, and the scenarios that they were giving. What if this happens? What if somebody runs up on you? Are you going to be able to hear if you have your headphones on? Probably not. We have to stay ready mentally. We have so much access to social media right now. Everybody's saying something and everybody's dropping seeds. So if we're not protecting our minds, then a seed that we might hear on social media, a seed that we might see on TV, it might start to sprout. We have to protect ourselves spiritually. And that's what this conference is for. Yes, we're in a serious time and we need to be ready. But I also want to highlight the fun side. These are serious workshops, yes, but they're also fun. They're engaging. Every workshop has practical applications. We get to do something hands-on because we have to engage young people. It's very hard to keep our attention. And I speak for myself when I say that. I don't know if we wanted to get into some of the more social events right now, Sister Lisa.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's fine. Go for it.
Okay. Sister Lisa might be able to add some more details, but I know that there's a white party, an all-white party that I am very excited to go to. I honestly should start preparing my outfit now. I don't know what I'm waiting on. What day will that be, Sister?
Friday.
Friday.
25th.
Friday. Wow. So the evening of the 25th. And is that a free event, or do we need to purchase tickets?
Your cost is your registration for the National Training Conference. So it's free to those who are registered for the National Training Conference. So you just can't show up and say, I'm just here for the party.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. So you know what that means? That means that we all need to register for the National Training Conference immediately.
That's right.
Immediately get our tickets, and we need to be there. It's in 2 weeks.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Before we move, I mentioned earlier that there are two age categories. So as I mentioned earlier, there is a full training track also for our children that are age 8 to 12. They have workshops, they have mat time, they have leadership roles, they get disaster preparedness training, and they too will have a social. Their social will not necessarily be a party, though they may be partying, but it will be more so for game night. So we want to emphasize that this is a family affair. You
Yes.
can bring your children, your grandchildren, you can bring your grandmama and your granddaddy, and it will be something for them. Last year, during the martial arts training, I watched one of the black belts trained by Dr. Abdulaziz teach an elderly person how to defend herself from a wheelchair. Not only was she elderly, but she was in a wheelchair and she handled the business. So don't think that this is not for me. I'm too young, I'm too old, I have children. We even have childcare, so you have no excuse. So if you have children under age 8, go to the website and you can also register them for childcare. There was one other, if I may, one other key workshop that I wanted to mention. A number of our children, by the grace of Allah, have graduated or are graduating from high school, and they are either in college already or they are preparing to attend college campuses in many cases. So there are a number of us who are in a number of positive organizations on and off of campuses and in our communities. So because we did a poll and we realized there are a lot of members of the Nation of Islam who are part of what we know is considered or called the Divine Nine, Black Greek organizations. And there has been a strong influx of believers who have become involved either through volunteer efforts or actually becoming members of the organizations. We wanted to have a conversation about that. So we have a workshop entitled Building Bonds, Breaking Barriers, the Impact of the Nation of Islam in the Divine Nine relationship. Because across the globe, there has been a lot of things. Brother Dr. Aziz mentioned the Million Man March, and we'll get into this during the conference, but there are organizations who had a very strong input in helping to make that Million Man March successful in Washington, D.C., some of those organizations. But the flip side of that is, just like anything else you can get involved in, there may be some things that you don't need to be involved in. So our focus for this workshop is not necessarily about the rituals and membership in the organization. It is about highlighting the similarities and the positive things that service organizations such as the Divine Nine organizations, what they do, and how some of the programs and their thrusts align with the teachings and the mission of the Nation of Islam under the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as is demonstrated by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So that is also another workshop that we intend to have.
Lisa, real quick, I just wanted to add something. I know you talked about interaction. Each workshop has a ton of interaction for our young people. So it won't just be lecturing. So our presenters, they clearly understand that there's less talk, more interaction. So young people, they have a lot to look forward to when they join the youth division this year.
Oh yeah, I was on that mat. I know it was. I was like, oh God, I got to go in here again. Oh my God. Oh my God, we got to work out again. Oh, I got to jump. I got to jump again. Jump. Oh, it was a lot of jumping. It was a lot of jumping. There was a lot of running in place. It was. Listen. It was fun though. It was fun because thank God I'm in shape, right? Because it would have been a hot mess if I would have tried to do all of those, jumping and running in place and then running in place. And I was like, because I seen some, I'd be like, I had to help a couple of sisters up, But my sister, we made it through together. So with that being said, it is a lot of physical, but it's fun. It's so much fun, and you get to laugh, and you get to enjoy, and you get to cry. You get to, cry at joy. I mean, because it's just sometimes I get emotional because it's just so much going on, but it's emotional joy. you know, and I like I said, I didn't even want to leave. I was thinking about getting an apartment in Milwaukee. I was like, what am I doing in Milwaukee? What can I do in Milwaukee? You know, so, and I don't even like cheese. So it was like, what am I doing here? But it was just because of the spirit and the energy that the conference brought. It really shook that city. It really shook that city for that time being while we were there.
Physically,
You know, and I know Brother Tony can bear witness.
Yes,
I'm happy you said that you cried out of joy. I thought you were going to say somebody put you in a lock and you started crying. But,
Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
And if you don't mind, could I share about the OGs, the seasoned adults,
the wise.
You know, a shout out to my beautiful wife, Sister Sabria Muhammad. You know, whenever we have special occasions, you know, whether it's a Savior's, maybe we're having a Savior's Day dinner for the family, maybe it's Ramadan and we're hosting an iftar at the house. My family knows if she started cooking like 3 days before, we already know what she can cook, period. But we know that that's going to be a show-stopping meal, right? You know, so I say that because the Student Assistant Supreme Captain convened the training team, the planners this year in December of 2024, right? So we've been preparing this meal for 7 months now. So if you can imagine the training version of the best bean soup you've ever had, you know how that aroma of the bean pie is cooking in the oven. And as my wife would say, we be eating the bean pie hot before it even cooled down. I'm gonna tell you something. This year's training is gonna be off the chain. The subject matter experts that have been assembled to make sure that we're getting, and it's a beautiful thing that our Student Assistant Supreme Captain does. This is not something where he says, you know what, it's all about himself. He is literally trying to get the best of the best, the most qualified people to come before us. So when we start this training on July 25th, and we get started at about 8 a.m., what we're looking at after we do our prayer and our conference opening, and after, of course, we get a chance to hear the tone being set by our beloved brother, the Student Assistant Supreme Captain, and his wife. And then, of course, we'll have special words as we put on our spiritual caps in order to really receive what's going on. So we'll have our beautiful, you all been hearing them on the webcast. Student Minister Ishmael Muhammad is going to be on, and he's going to help set that tone. And then we're going to have a workshop that we're putting together. And that workshop, when I'm talking about the workshop, he has assembled some of the leaders in their craft. We have people who aren't just, they didn't go and Google or use AI to put together a curriculum. They're going to share their life experience work. And so we have people like Brother Emmanuel, who was formerly trained in dealing with active shooters and mass shooting events. We have people who are coming together to talk about the layout of cities and urban planners. We have first responders that are going to talk about critical things that we should know. Did you know that 70% of the homicides, at least here in Kansas City, it could be more anywhere else, but did you know that 70% of the homicides that come about, the people who die from shootings, 70% of them don't have to die. They bleed out, but nobody knows first aid. Nobody knows how to get to them. So we're going to have people who are subject matter experts talking about the things that we should focus on and we should learn and get better and better and better at. You know, of course, as we continue to go on, when we look at what is fighting in Allah's way and dealing with what we call the power of structure. Structure is everything. That old acronym or that old saying that if I slap you with my hand open, you know, it's going to sting a little bit, but it ain't going to be nothing like if I close my fist.
Oh, my God.
So
Lights out.
Talk about the power of structure and how important that is we know how important it is in the Nation of Islam, but anything you do has to have the structure that should be with it. We're going to talk about different policies and protocols. Our beloved Brother Randy is coming back. And if you all remember Brother Randy, and especially in the environment that we're in, the price of food is going up. Food is non-existent. When you go to some, we have these food deserts in our community. Yes. The only alternative that we have is to learn on our own how we can provide what we need for ourselves. So Brother Randy's going to talk about the big fields that are waiting the wide awake man and woman to work out in. These are critical things that we have to learn. And of course, we're going to have a very, very special presentation. You all don't want to miss it. We're talking about the history of the national training. We're going to go all the way back to day one. And we're going to see how this thing has grown from the time when we had to use money orders and you had beepers going off and there was no computer, there was no internet. You had to get a hold of a flyer or something like that was going across. But we're going to walk our way up to now where you have the youth division, where we have modern technology. You had to register. You used to have to register for the national training when you got there. Right.
That's right. You've been in a long line.
So now people are available to log on, and we have our app present. And that's not even mentioned what's going on Saturday. We have our special departments that we're going to break out into. Our student assistant supreme captain, he always looks out for the sisters. And so the sisters are going to have their specialized training to get in what they need to have. The officers in the Nation of Islam are going to have our specialized training to get into the structure and organization that we need. Man, listen, if you don't smell that training bean pie right now, I don't know what's wrong with you. Your stomach should be growling. Everybody should be at their computer on their phones right now, getting ready to go ahead and register. It's just something that you don't want to miss. And I'm going to stop with this.
Crazy.
Every society, every single society,
right,
before every big event or after every big event, the coming together as a community is sacred. To come together, sit down and commune, to laugh with one another, to dance with one another, to fellowship with one another. I can tell you this, we are planning a banquet to rival all banquets. When I tell you this banquet is off the chain, man, this banquet will be off the chain. It's going to deposit a memory that you want to have. So many people, sometimes they say, I'm going to come to the training, but you miss one of the most critical components of it, where everything comes together and you solidify those memories at that banquet on Saturday night. There's a study that says in households where the family commune together and have dinner, the children are more intelligent. The adults are more aware. So you don't want to miss this communal event that we're having with our banquet with a lot of fun. As Sister Naya said, we're going to have a whole lot of fun. We're going to have a whole lot of fun, but you're going to see faces and make memories that you're going to have for the rest of your life. I got to shut up, man. I'm getting fired up.
Look, the whole conference sounds like a big feast, beloved.
Yes.
And I am going to mention something else that you have at the conference that's very, very important. I remember in previous conferences you've had workshops on defending point number 12 in what the Muslims believe. At this upcoming conference, Student Minister Ilya Rashad's documentary film Answered 3 will premiere.
Absolutely.
Why is it important to incorporate this aspect of defense, if you want to call it that, as part of the integral part of the conference itself?
Well,
here we're dealing with the defense of the teachings.
No. Absolutely. Well, first of all, we're saying defense, and what we're dealing with is we're looking at the triumph, but through the trial. You know what I'm saying? So we have to. I mean, it was just a perfect time to be able to introduce something that we have knowledge of that no one else had. No one else had this. No one else believed. But see, our teaching has never changed.
That's right. That's right.
Even though nobody believed it, they talked against it. But then look how many years later that they have to bear witness. And if you looked at who was talking about it, well, see, that's why you know that there's nothing that is incorrect in terms of what we have been taught. So this was just a perfect time to be able to deliver the fact that, you see, we were saying in terms of what he's about to show, and this was part 3.
Yes.
And it is dealing with the mother plane, and it's dealing with the baby plane, the baby planes and so forth. I mean, so we're getting ready to get some information that is incredible. So why would we, while giving the ability and knowledge of how to defend ourselves in a time of trouble,
right?
And we can see so that we can be inspired and have knowledge of what God has set up already. Oh, this is incredible. I'm just excited. I want to see it. I want to see it.
Praises be to Allah. You know, and the beautiful thing is this is a wonderful way to segue to this other video that I would love to show in regards to defense, defending ourselves.
You need to know how to defend the greatest gift that God has given to each of us, and that is the precious gift of life. But you got to put the time in, you got to discipline your body and your mind, and take the pain that you must take in order to move to the next level of physical combat. Our example must be so compelling that people want to be what we are. Because what we are is what they are. I'm under orders to take care of this. I'm under orders to treat this right, because this is the real house of God. That's right. When you eat properly, think properly, and weigh properly, you are absolutely a beautiful human being.
It's the 30th Annual National Training Conference, July 24th through the 27th. Conference will be held at the Tinley Park Convention Center, 18451 Convention Center Drive, Tinley Park, Illinois. Register you and the entire family at the vskjujitsu.com. Don't miss it.
Praises be to Allah. These plugs are real. I love it. Whoever is on the promo, listen, they had. Let me have.
Okay, so I have to say this while you're saying that. Brother Dr. Abdul Aziz has commissioned many of the young people that are a part of the youth division to create the marketing promos. So that's something else that many of them learned and had an opportunity to apply the talents they had once they started being involved with the National Training Conference. So I'm gonna just keep on plugging what he's allowed and help to give them an opportunity to do. So yes,
wow, I'm about to sing. I believe the children. Listen, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And it's so look. Listen, every promo is like, where the promo code at again? Where the promo code at again? I need to find it. I need to find it. Where the promo? It's right here. You know. So it's so beautiful. I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, I want to touch on this. Please describe, excuse me, how the International Training Conference has evolved as valuable resource to everyone who wants to attend. So we want to know, hey, you know, because right now we already seen the promos, right? But right now, they want to see a human, human interaction. Why it is so important and so valuable. Why we should be at the 30 years, the 30-year anniversary of the International Training Conference. Why is it so important, and why is it valuable, and why everyone should be there?
Go ahead, Cal.
You know, if I can narrow
bean pie.
You know, if I can narrow down one spot, but I really want to give you practical examples. You know, as FOI, even here in Kansas City, we work amongst our people, and you know, there was one time we were out in the field, and there was a shooting. 2 people got shot while we were out there.
Yes,
and literally they're bleeding out. They are bleeding out. And so there was no ambulance, no law enforcement on. It was just the FOI. And so we went and we triaged. And I can hear Brother Rudolph in my mind talking about creating tourniquets. I can see the training courses that we got in the national training to help triage and stop the bleeding. So by the time the paramedics got there, of course, they could just pick up where we left off, but our brothers didn't bleed out. There was a time when we had an anthrax threat at the mosque. A letter delivered with powder in it, with a bullet in it. And I can recall how we were taught how to deal with airborne passages through the National Training Conference. I can recall a course where we were given how to seal off the airways should you get that situation so that it doesn't contaminate the rest of the building. We saw a brother trying to kill another brother and put him in a trunk of a car. And so I can hear former Captain David from Baltimore talking about conflict resolution and de-escalation. And that's what we use to stop this man from killing another man. I'm telling you, the National Training Conference saves lives.
Come on.
It saves lives. And the courses and the subjects that we're getting, they're not theoretical things. They're by experts who are telling you exactly what you need to do. So these workshops that are being put together in the youth division and in the senior, I shouldn't say senior.
There you go. I'm not a senior, brother. Brother.
But these workshops, the moment you walk out of the national training, they are taught so well that you're ready to apply them and save lives. And that life we save could be our own.
Can I want to chime in and take a page out of my daughter's book, who is often on the podcast. And she normally, when that question is asked, Sister Khalila, she'll say, why not? Why
there you go.
Do you want to live? You know, if you want to save your life and be in a position to save somebody else's life, you need to be at the National Training Conference. Nobody should have to convince you to want to be in a position to live if you're in a position to lose your life.
Right.
So spend a few dollars, really is pennies compared to what your life is worth if you understand.
Right.
And what the life of your children are worth, and what the life of your fellow believers is worth, the life of the people in the community. So you need to be there because there's really no other place for you to be on that weekend. And to that, you made a comment about being in Milwaukee and getting an apartment. But guess what? For this training conference, we have something for you to do even before the official training starts on Friday. There are people who have never been to the home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So Dr. Abdul Aziz has collaborated with the proprietor of the home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad to set up tours for not only the day when you first arrive, because most believers arrive on Thursday, and then many stay until Sunday. So there'll be tours on Thursday, and then there'll be tours on Sunday for those who are just kind of taking a breather after they've gotten put in locks, like brother said, and they just want to do something else. So the reality is it's 4 days of life-giving, life-saving, life-changing training for you and your entire family and all those who you bring with you. And when you go back, you know, each one teach one. So when you go back, you can take something back, if nothing but a different spirit about life. And that's one of the things that our young people need. Our young people that we see in this training as part of the youth division, they are the hope that many people don't have. So when you come to the training conference, this goes for the adults and the young people. You come back, you leave with a different spirit. You come on a certain level, but unless you're just deaf, dumb, and blind totally, when you leave, you're on a higher spiritual level, you're on a higher mental level. You may even be on a better physical level after all that running and jumping and
there you go.
But it is worth your time, it is worth your effort, it is worth your life for you to be at the National Training Conference. I want to speak to the senior, because the reality is there are many who are not living long enough to be seniors. When I've walked and worked in the community, and you ask some young people what they wish for, what they hope for, and many of them will say, I just want to be alive tomorrow. That's a very sad reality. So I'm very proud to say I made it to that level. So again, bring your grandmother, your grandfather, bring everybody. But you don't need to be anywhere else except Tinley Park, Illinois, at the Tinley Park Convention Center, July 24th, starting on Thursday, and stay all the way through Sunday. Because one thing we didn't mention, also there's a tournament, the Scimitar. Anybody that knows the elders or the olders or the pioneers or the seniors, we may know Karate Kid or Kung Fu, but the newbies might know Cobra Kai. So the reality is to go to that Scimitar and watch people on every level, male, female, youth, adult, senior, handling it. It's amazing. So if after you go through the training, when you go through the Scimitar, you sit on the side and say, I could do that. Or I wish I could do that. Or I'll come back, I'll go home and I'll start training so that I can be able to do that. So we have something every day from Thursday through Sunday. So that's why you should be at the National Training Conference.
Lisa, I want to say something real quick. I often, when I'm talking to my son, I say, I want the spirit of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the defense techniques of Grandmaster Doc. And he always laughed. And I think about how when you get the mat time, you actually can see the expert trainers actually do the move, and then they allow you to do the move. So that's it's amazing how this conference is laid out. It's a lot of practical training, and it just allows us to be prepared. You know, it's nothing like being like Doc always say, being battle ready. You know, because when a person know you battle ready, he usually kind of reluctant about trying to mess with you. So it's time to get trained. So regardless of the age, this is where you should be at. This is where everybody's going to be at the training conference.
Praises be to Allah. Brother Tony, did you have anything to say? Because listen, I'm about to just put this up here. You know, listen. Y'all already know. We right now we don't say nothing at this moment. This is the place to be. I mean, y'all gonna feed us? We're gonna have a banquet. They're gonna have a banquet.
That's right.
All white party.
Look, all you gotta do right now is just say not that you believe, say that you submit. Just scan that QR code right there.
There you go. And you're gonna learn how to fight. Because I still remember a couple of moves back in, 2 to 3 years ago. I still know a couple of moves that you know what I mean? So I still got it. You know, it's still here. It's still, and the beautiful thing about it is you remember, and the trainers are so humble. They're so humble because they'll let you learn it. They'll let you even videotape them doing it. And then they'll also let you do, like you say, Brother Clifton, the practical. You're actually hands-on. It's OJT. Let's get it done. And they'll, if you don't get it, they'll allow you to do it over and over and over again. So I'm telling you, you want to learn just one move and master one move, this is the place to be. Because sometimes you just can't fight, right? Talk, your game is so solid when it comes down to talking, but when it comes down to fighting, it's just like
Sister Kalila,
right?
Honestly, if we lack the knowledge, which all of us are lacking something, but I mean, this conference could be the spark for a new you and for a new us.
I like that, Brother Tony.
Absolutely.
I knew
What do
that
we have
know how
to fear
fight.
in
I
being
knew
trained?
I knew you that know how to fight.
Right.
Right. Know how to fight right.
Know how to fight right. Learn how to defend. Not go, man, I just learned this trick right here. I'm going to try it on everybody.
Right.
Well, you know, I'm going to do something special right now. And that is, of course, we want you present. We do. And I know that there are some of us, some of us that can't make it for some reason. I know that. But I want to say this to you.
Yes, sir.
Now, you can, and we are offering it should be open now, that our online presentation is going to be present.
Mic drop. You heard it here.
Listen, you can sign up for the online now and be in your own residence or wherever and still do all of the techniques. You can do everything. You can be present to of course, the ability that we're going to have you. You're going to get the presentations. It's all going to be there and you can get it. You just have to sign up for the online training and you'll be in the house.
Grandmaster, you ain't making no excuses now. You taking everything pretty much off the table. I mean, it's shame on you if you don't.
That's right. That's right. There's no reason. If you have not already gotten your ticket for your flight, and that's what we do. We say we want to be there. I'm going to be there, but you don't commit. You don't commit, but we got a little something for you now.
There you go.
Don't even have to get there. Now know this though. If you have the ability to get there, you're going to get more than you'd get on the online.
Right.
Because there's so much more, we can't have everything online. Right. But if you were there, you're going to definitely get a bigger picture. You're going to get a greater feel of brotherhood, sisterhood. You'll get so much more. But if you have no ability to make it, and you need to be close to home, let's just say you got to take care of a family member that is troubled, sick, whatever. I got to stay home with mom. Well, you can stay home with mom and still participate. So know that there is no other reasons for you not to participate. So if you choose to not participate on your own, understand that was a commitment that you made to not and or to be a part of.
Listen, you heard it. You heard it here. Listen, I'm on here now. Because unfortunately I had, other obligations, but I'm definitely going to sign up for the online. Listen, if y'all look, I don't know if y'all see it. I'm on here. I'm signing up, literally.
Yes, indeed.
And the beautiful thing about this is the excuses is off the table. The excuses is off the table. You have no excuse. I want to, since this is, a segue, this is a throwback Thursday moment. I wanted Brother Calvin to know that I did get this, exclusive. And so Grandmaster, can you expound on what we're looking at right now?
Well, these were brothers who participated. You can see that fella over to the left, in midway. That was, man, how old were you, Cal?
I think maybe 18, 19, somewhere around there.
Wow.
And there are some that were captains. There's, I see Brother Melvin over there, who was I don't know if he was secretary then, but he's a secretary. And I mean, you have some different persons that were involved. Well, this was it. That was a great number from the national training part.
That's right.
Okay. But then we had another group that was dealing with the martial arts in particular, that came from out of town and whatnot, you know. So, I mean, man, this was the beginning here.
Praises be to Allah. So, okay, so I'm on here now, and it's so beautiful because guess what? We're actually on here. So whoever did this, this website,
yes,
close to genius. I'm the genius, but this is close to genius, right? So we're actually live. We're actually here. If you go to the website right now, you can actually review us on the website. This is beautiful. So I'm here now, right? I'm in the register now. I'm clicking on the register now because I'm about to register, right?
Yes.
So when it specifies online, is it a certain area where I have to go to do the online segment of the conference?
Did you see it doesn't have a button to take us to the to this to be able to register? I'm sorry, I'm not able.
No, you're fine, but I don't see it right here, but I will be. But I just want to, because the thing is, people be making like, oh, the button wasn't there. That's why I didn't do it. The button wasn't there. You see, the button wasn't there. I want to dismiss all of that, you know? So, but I do see register. I do see all of the actual, you know, indications where you can register at. But it doesn't specify the online. But, you know, after this, you know, once I find out, I'm going to go live again, and I'm going to say, this is where you go, you know, and
awesome.
And make sure that they're getting on here. So if they cannot make it, they can make it.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Thank you. Yes,
You're
ma'am.
welcome. So with that being said, do we have, I would just want to do a round,
Closing
you know,
remarks.
just closing remarks. Just, you know, whoever wants to start in regards to the closing remarks. And thank you all so much for blessing us with your presence. I'm looking forward to seeing you all on the conference. And, you know, that's right. Remove all excuses, Brother Malik.
Right.
I agree.
Right.
I'm with you. Go ahead on now. Go on. Stop playing. So with that being said, any closing remarks, whoever wants to start first?
Let's get our youth group. Go ahead, Naya. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say that I look forward to seeing you all at the National Training Conference. And of course, I won't be able to see your faces if you are joining virtually. But I'm looking forward to seeing you, your families, your children, your parents. I want to see everybody at the National Training Conference because this is somewhere where we need to be at. If we want to stay alive, like Sister Lisa was sharing, we need to be here. No excuses. So make sure you register at thevskjujitsu.com. But I did want to ask, just so everybody knows, is there a deadline to register for the training conference?
Great question.
Great question.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you asked. Thank you so much for asking that question. The online registration will cut off on July 20th. Again, the online registration will cut off on July 20th. Why is it important to register now? Because right now, if you register now, you know you got a spot. You know you have a spot. You know, there are things like fire codes and capacity and everything like that. If you register now, you don't have to worry about that. But, you know, you take a chance when you come and register on site. You miss out on the things that we we send the registrant, that we reserve the registration packets. You know, we have to make up the packets now for those who register on site. So July 20th is our online registration deadline.
Okay. Online registration deadline.
July 20th.
July 20th. So don't, y'all stop playing. Get on here, register right now. Because I mean, right now I'm trying to. I don't want to be, but I'm looking. I'm I'm on here. So anyone else?
Closing remarks.
Go ahead, Lisa. Go ahead, Lisa.
Thank you all again. Thank you, Dr. Abdul-Aziz, for this opportunity, because there would be no need for us to be on here if it were not for your vision and for your continued 30 years of service, sacrifice, and training for our people, per the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So thank you, thank you. Thank you to the 7th Region Coalition. We appreciate you. We thank you for your support. We want everyone to be at the National Training Conference. We are seeking sponsors. So for those who are unable to come, there is a button on the website. Again, www.thevskjujitsu.com. If you scroll all the way down, it'll say sponsor a youth. Oftentimes, young parents will say, if it's between you and me, I know I need this training. I love you, but I'm going to leave you at home because I can't afford to bring us both. So when we get youth sponsorships, it allows us to let parents who really want to come and have, like, say they have multiple children. They can afford one, but they can't bring the other. Sometimes neither can come because now one has to stay home and watch the other one. So sponsorships helps us. We are having a drive, 300 for 30 years. That means 10 youth sponsorships for every year of the hosting of the National Training Conference. So that's, of course, do the math. 10 times 30 is 300. So we are looking for 300 sponsorships across the country, not in one city, not in one state. So we believe that there are 300 people who would like to sponsor at least one young person.
Okay, so I want to sponsor one person.
Yes, ma'am. You can
I'm sorry.
All the way down.
Okay, and it says name of the youth.
When you put in the youth, you can put in the age. Just put youth between age 8 and 17.
Okay, and then I can just put donation in the name.
17. That is correct. That is correct.
Okay, donation. Okay, I'm donating to youth.
Praise be to Allah. So just register for everything. It is more economical for those who are coming to the conference to register for the entire packet. So you'll see that on there. So
don't waste any time looking.
There's no need to say,
just go ahead and
I'm going to
register for
come.
the whole
Right.
thing.
Because you may come and you have registered for the conference and you get excited because you hear about everybody else going to the banquet, but you waited to get on site to register for the banquet and now you can't go to the banquet. So why are we waiting? Register for the full conference package. So that is my piece. We look forward to having you there, serving you. We will be recruiting again, young people with talent on site. So be ready. Thank you again. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Brother Clifton, I think you wanted to comment.
Yeah, just quickly, I second everything Lisa said. I just want to add that there is no such thing as being I'm trained already. No, there's no such thing. No, coming to the training conference, you're getting the up-to-date, real-time training. Because like Grandmaster said, it always changes. So you expired. So you need to come to the 30th celebration of this training so you can get the 2025 version of what to protect yourself with. So other than that, your greatest investment other than yourself is your children. Do not forget your young people. Register your young people. All the information is on the website. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Brother Clifton, to say that we don't need training anymore, that's like saying, I have arrived. I'm about to go on the mothership.
That's right.
That's when we get into trouble.
Brother
Calvin?
Calvin.
You know, I'm just ready to get to Tinley Park. You know, Doc, I was reflecting on a business partner of ours a few years ago out of Philadelphia was giving us a story. His name is Sean Smith. And he had mentioned that he was riding in a car with somebody and they didn't put their seatbelt on. And he kind of whispered to him, he said, hey, why don't you put your seatbelt on? And the brother mentioned to him, you know, I don't like to put my seatbelt on because I don't like wrinkling my suit.
Oh.
And he said, man, can you imagine how wrinkled your suit is going to be if you fly through the windshield of that car? You know, and so when there are people who are coming up with reasons not to be here, you know, whether they think they can afford it or whether they think they don't have the time. But just could you imagine if you are hit by one of the circumstances that we're training to? Could you imagine if you're hit with famine and you didn't take Brother Randy's advice to grow something for yourself? Forget about you. Can you stand seeing your starving children? Could you take that? You know, can you imagine what happens if you have to apply some type of medical situation that we're offering the training for at the national training, whether it's to patch up a wound, whether it is to help in a situation of a seizure? Well, we're giving you the information. Don't be in hindsight. You know, they say people who have survived their jumping off of a bridge or something like that, those who survived, they asked them what went through their mind when they jumped off. And they said, I shouldn't have jumped. You know? So don't be like that. We can't afford not to be at this conference. And I'm so grateful that our Student Assistant Supreme Captain has been doing this for 30 years and that we had just an opportunity for him and his beautiful wife to just be a part, and we'll be there. So that's all I have, my brother. You know, we fired up.
Praise be to Allah. Me too. I'm fired up. I'm trying to. Okay, we'll talk offline. But I mean, I'm excited. I'm trying to get this thing going here. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Dr. Abdulaziz Muhammad, you have the final word.
Yes. Thank you. Also, what I want you to know too is that that issue I've already communicated, and they are working on it right now. So it'll be right in that register area shortly. So you know, just by tomorrow, you'll be able to take care of that business by Allah's permission. All right. So with that being said, listen. We've done all that we can to take away all of the excuses that could exist. We've done all that we can. You know, they say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So we have led everyone, and we are looking forward to you getting a cool drink of water at the National Training Conference. And listen, we have all that we can for that time period. So if you listen, as was mentioned, the minister had everything that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, shared with us, taught us, all that the minister is teaching us. We know that the teachings are absolutely right and exact.
Yes.
There's nothing that has been told to us that is a lie.
That's right.
It's all the truth. So, understanding that it is the truth, then we know that we have been taught that there will be blood up to the horse's bridle.
My God, yes, sir.
Which means there's so many people that are going to die in order for such a, you know, the bridle is up in the upper regions of the horse. So that is a lot of blood. So there's many people that are going to die because, you know, we may not heed the word, and then there are many that don't know what it is. So we have the opportunity, family, to know that we can get this information that is being presented to us that's not new. No, it's not new. We do it in certain ways to keep it to keep it fresh, but it's not new. We have not said anything that is not been taught to us. We just try to introduce it in many ways through many people to help us to feel better, to make us, to give us the desire to want to get in and get it. But know this, the truth is, if you don't come, then you're going to miss something. And the question is, how quickly, how soon are we going to be at a situation that is very troubling? How soon? So we got it. We want to come together. Let's get it so we can be prepared for we can be prepared for the time that we're about to give. And we pray a lot that he gives us an opportunity to get there.
That's
because
right.
no one is guaranteed to make it.
That's right.
But those of you who choose not to make it, you may be guaranteed not to make it, but you're also guaranteed you won't have the knowledge after it's done.
Come on now.
So that's all I have to say. We're looking forward to it. You know, and just to let you know, when we say Happy Savior's Day, and Minister Ishmael did a wonderful job during I think that was through the that was the believers meeting.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And you know, every day is Savior's Day.
That's right. That's
But
right.
when we do Savior's Day, I now have been saying a midsummer Savior's Day.
Come on, beloved.
So that's what we're gonna have, a midsummer Savior's Day. So come on out and let us enjoy that beautiful Savior's Day together and in unity with each other. Thank you all for your love. You constantly, you always open up your platform to us. You know you are our family. We are one, and you know you better last time you every time you're taping there,
right?
You promote. You know we're looking for it again now. You better talk to the people again.
I want to.
Dr. Abdulaziz.
Yes.
Now, just like in the tradition of Savior's Day, will you have vending taking place at the national training?
It's gonna be a whole nother show, Brother Tony. You know it's gonna be vending. Good vending too. There'll be no riffraff vending. It's real good vending.
And I'll say this: if you do any vending, family, you want to be there because listen. We have never had a situation. I don't remember ever having a situation where the vendors were not satisfied. Not even just satisfied. They were not, listen, they filled their pockets very well. We do well. It's just a time that makes us feel like we want to get something, and everybody has something, so everyone enjoys that are vending. It's really a wonderful time. So you have a few moments to get it if you want to come and vend, and you'll be able to sign yourself up through that registration area and get going, and then you'll get information to our brother Leonard, who's going to be managing the vending area.
Praises be to Allah.
Sister Kalila, I think this has been like the longest show that we've had in quite a while.
In a while, but it was worth it.
Beautiful.
It was so worth it. It was so worth it. Well, again,
wow,
they work. Everything works. I tried it on my phone. The QR code worked. No excuse.
No excuse.
And with that being said,
and speaking about support.
Speaking about support, we need your support.
Dear family, if you've benefited from this program or any programs brought to you by the 7th Region Coalition to Help Save Lives, look, this is your opportunity right now. Make a charitable donation at $ 7th Region Coalition 29. See, look, we're doing this from the labor of love. But of course, there is a cost to the streaming platform that we use. They don't look at what we're doing and say, oh, You are so nice. No, we're just gonna let you have this for free. No, we have to cover costs just like everybody else.
That's right.
And it does not have to be a large amount, although we will not refuse a large amount.
Come on now.
That's
a
right.
large donation, but any amount we are very, very, very appreciative of, and may Allah God continue to bless you all and your families. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, hopefully we will see you at the conference. For those who cannot attend, you do have the online opportunity to take advantage of the conference as well.
Praise be to Allah.
So with that being said, may Allah continue to bless you all. Your Thursday night talks is signing off. May Allah continue to bless you with abundance, and we will see you at the conference.
Tune in next week, dear family. 7th Region Coalition to Help Save Lives. Thursday night talks. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Salam.